Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for patiently waiting, and let us now begin our lesson. I, so we will start with our discussion po. Uh, what we are go- what we are going now to discuss is all about Albert Bandura, the social learning theory. So what we si Bandura po ngayon is siya yung kamamatay lang po last month. So, may malaki siyang contribution. He has the biggest contribution in the field of education. And Albert Bandura, social learning theory, this is very important, not only in primary education and um, primary education, but also for secondary. Because even secondary, they are imitating what they have learned, what they are imitating, what they have studied in their subject. So, what we are going to discuss this time is what is social learning theory. So, social learning theory proposed by Albert Bandura. So, tandaan po, last meeting we discussed about Jean Piaget, the cognitive development. So, ano po ba yung ano naman ni Albert Bandura? It emphasizes the importance of observing, modeling, and imitating the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reaction of others. So we have the so-called observing. Okay? So kung may face-to-face, it's very important. Kung mayroong kung may face-to-face, it's very important to observe our pupils, to observe them, di ba? To observe outside and inside the classroom, modeling, who will model. So, especially as teachers, sa BetLed, sa BICAED, they can use this sa lalo sa BetLed and BICAED. Paano yung BetLed, for example, you have the discussion, for example, cooking or agriculture, you will model first on how to do that thing, diba? Okay. Another one is um sa bikaid naman, for example, if you are teaching a dance, if you are teaching um if you are teaching dance steps, so you will model imitating the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reaction. So social learning theory considers how both environmental and cognitive factors interact to influence human learning and behavior. So this one is in anong involved dito? It involves the environment, it involves the mind, the mental aspect of the learners. So it's very important na there must be an interaction with the teacher and interaction with the learners. So ano yung sinasabi natin? It is a give and take relationship wherein the students learn from the teacher and the teacher also learn from the students. Yan. So another one is what are the four steps of Bandura social learning theory? So the four steps of the Bandura social learning theory, number one is attention. Why? It's very important to catch the attention of the learners. Even po you are applying it in even you are applying it in the online classes, still you will catch their attention. Mas kailangan, mas kailangan if you are using the online platform on how you will catch the attention of your learners, 'di ba? So very important po 'yan na to catch their attention. Another one is yung tinatawag nating retention. Ano naman yung retention? In the retention process, uh, there must be what? Retention in the learning, in the discussion. So anong sinasawag dito? There must be transfer of learning. 'Diba? So dapat mayroong transfer of learning from one concept to another concept. So there must be continuity also. Reproduction, it's very important to pag sinabi natin reproduction, it is what? The application of what they have learned. Application of what they have learned from you and motivation. Very important ang motivation because it is the driving force to learn why they are listening, why they are actively participating because they are motivated, no? So very important before you start the lesson, there must be a motivation. Before the start of the lesson, you gave first a motivation to your learners. Yan. So for example, in Betled, may anong motivation mo kapag magtuturo ka ng cosmetology? Ano yung motivation mo? So, kailangan mo na magpakita muna ng pwede ka magpakita ng mga pictures or pwede ka makapagbigay ng scenario na if their parents or if their siblings having a session in a with that manicurist or pedicure in a beauty expert, so makaka-relate sila doon. Sa bikaid naman, anong motivation mo if you are going to teach a dance? So, for example, you will ask them who among them with interest in dancing. So, you will let, no? So, pwede kang magbigay ng activity na yung sa katulad ng sa showtime na tinatawag na sample, di ba? You can have that. Sa Filipino naman, what will be your motivation if you will teach? If you will teach pang-angkop, if you will teach pandiwa, or if you will teach pang-abay. So you will give activities first. So you will motivate them first in order them to listen to your discussion. So yun po ang ating 4 steps in social learning theory. So what are the 3 concepts of Albert Bandura? So the 4 concepts we discussed a while ago, but by this time naman is we will discuss 3 key concepts. So meaning these are the 3 major concepts of Bandura. So social learning theory theorized by Albert Bandura and post it into the people learn from one another. So very important na uh, our learners learn from us and we learn from them. O, yan ang pinaka-importante. For the teachers naman, you learn from others. It's not only na ikaw lang ang natututunan, kundi pwede ka rin natuto sa ibang tao. Okay? So also, you learn through observation, imitation. Di ba yung learners natin sa kanilang bahay, they are imitating their parents, they are imitating their father, their mother. Anong ginagawa ng mga bata? Sometimes they are wearing the clothes, they are wearing the slippers with their parents, with their father or mother, di ba? Sinusuot nila yung kanilang tsinelas because they are imitating as a father or imitating as a mother. So yan po ang ating um, key concept. Then another one is modeling. You model, you are modeling kasi sa social learning theory, it's very important also to model. So, kahit po high school na ang mga handled nyo, kasi yung CIT, yung yung BS Ed, yung Filipino, yung social studies, you will handle high school. So still you will model kasi sometimes iba-iba. We are handling learners, we are handling different kinds of learners. So kailangan hindi nangangahulugan na porket nasa last section, di na tayo magtuturo. So it's still you are going to teach. The theory has often called as a bridge between the behaviorist and cognitive learning theories because it compasses attention, memory, and motivation. So when we are referring to behaviorists, we are talking about a particular behavior. We are talking about um, human behavior. And so pag sinabi natin sa cognitive, it is we are referring to mental aspects. So, yan po. Another one is it encompasses attention, memory, and motivation. So, yung sa memory is uh, their their retention, their learning, okay? Then motivation. Sinabi ko na to kanina na it's very important to give motivation for our learners. So what best describes Albert Bandura's social learning theory? Social learning theory suggests that social behavior is learned by observing and imitating the behavior of others. So, as I said during the discussion of the concept of Jean Piaget, so th- there are three kinds of education: the formal, the non-formal, and the informal education. May mga bata na natututo batay sa pag-obserba at sa paggaya, diba? So may napuntahan tayong isang shop dyan sa bahagi ng malilipot na yung mga anak, wait lang ha, okay. May mga anak, may mga bata na natututo dyan sa shop sa may malilipot na di man nila formal na nagklase ng TESDA, nagklase ng ano, pero they learned on how to fix problems sa mga motor, 'di ba? So it only means na they learn through observation, through imitating their father. So sabi ni Albert Bandura, the social learning theory as an alternative to the early work of fellow psychologist B.F. Skinner. So ito ay based on the concept ng ni B.F. Skinner. So ano sabi dito? Yung sa kay B.F. Skinner, it is known for his influence on behaviorism. Okay? So, iyan ang kanyang ano din. We will discuss this as we go along with our lesson, no? Yung kay B.F. Skinner naman, we will focus on behaviorism. Uh, so another one is what are the five principles of social learning theory? Yeah, we discussed already this one. So, balikan ko uli. Albert Bandura, as the creator of the concept of social learning theory, Bandura proposes the five essential steps in order to learn to take place, that we will start with the observation. So you will first teach your learners to observe. You will teach again your learners to ano din, wait lang. So bakit konti na lang ang nanonood? Where are the rest? Okay. So kung hindi maka-comment, manood na lang. Manood na lang. Wait lang. Wala kasi silang live chat. Sige. It's okay. I-send na lang, maya-maya na lang, i-send ko na lang yung screenshot. Ipasend ko na lang yung screenshot doon sa FB group natin. If you are watching, wait lang. Ha? Okay, so I'm going to forward na lang a link on those for those who cannot comment. Okay? So, pero where are the rest? Bakit ano na lang? Let me check kung ano din. Okay, so let us continue. So first you will start with the observation, then attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. So we discussed this a while ago. So why is Bandura's theory important? Bakit napakahalaga ng ng Albert Bandura? So yung Bandura's social learning theory provides a helpful framework for understanding how an individual learns via observation and modeling. So cognitive processes are central as learner must make sense of and internalize what they see to reproduce the behavior. So yon. Ano yung sinasabi dito na bakit it is very important? It's very important because it is showing na they learn also through observation and through modeling. So it's a combination na yung pumasok na dito yung kay Sean Piaget. So, combination na. Bakit yung kay Sean Piaget? Because there is now there is now cognitive aspect or cognitive processes. Okay. So, what are the components of Bandura's social learning theory? The social cognitive theory is composed of the four processes of goal realization. First is self-observation. So, yan, natututo yung bata through observation. Inuulit natin to. Ini-emphasize natin to na sila ay natututo through observation. Next is self-evaluation. That's why we are giving evaluation to them in order to check if they are learning from our discussion po, 'di ba? So yan ang ating ng kay Albert Bandura. So sabi ni Malohati, it reflects that the realities that learners are likely to face when they are required to make actual decisions and solve actual problems in the workplace. Very good. So, kasi next is self-reaction by means of letting our learners to react on the discussion on the topic. So it's very important also to have their self-reaction. Another one is self-efficacy. The four components are interrelated and all have an effect on motivation and goal attainment. Pag naibigay natin ito sa kanila, that you are letting them to ang pinaka-importante kasi sa pagtuturo is you are letting them to discover, you are letting them to to discuss also their own learning. Hindi lang po dapat puro what? Puro spoon feeding. Hindi lang puro po kundi let them to discover also, let them also to learn with their own through the guidance of the teacher, syempre. So how does learning occur in social learning theory? Social learning theory is a theory of learning process and social behavior which proposes that new behaviors can be acquired by observing and imitating others. So kaya baga sometimes totoo din yung sinasabi na kung ano ang sa tingin ng ay kung ano nakikita ng bata sa mata ng bata ay tama dahil yun ang ginagawa ay um, kung anong ginagawa ng matanda sa mata ng bata ay tama kasi that is there also by way of observation. Kaya nga natatakot ang karamihan if yung mga bata nanonood sa mga palabas na mayroong um, pagmumura or mga palabas na din kasi pwede nilang gayahin, pwede nilang um, gawin. So, kaya please guide your pupils, guide your learners, or guide your children kung may mga anak na po kayo. Kasi ang social learning theory is more on observation and imitation. In addition to the observation of behavior, learning also occurs through the observation of rewards and punishment, a process known as vicarious reinforcement. So, hindi po pwede na di po pwede na yung mga estudyante natin palaging mayroong rewards. So, kailangan din po ng other reinforcement. Or sa mga anak ninyo, hindi po pwedeng palagi na lang bigyan nyo ng 5 pesos, 10 pesos sa bawat 100 nila, sa bawat nakakuha sila ng tamang sagot. So, hindi po siya magandang reward. Through verbal, mas maganda na. That is reinforcement. By saying good, by saying very good, by saying great, fantastic. So, pwede na po yun. Hindi, huwag niyong sanayin yung bata na kapag nakakuha ng tamang sagot, there is a toy, there is a doll, there is a kung ano-ano. Okay. So, ang words can be best reinforcement in order for them to be motivated, no? So these are the five major learning theories that we are going to study in this lesson. So the five main educational learning theory, the cognitive learning theory which is by Jean Piaget, wherein it helps in the the learners to think. Behaviorism learning theory by B.F. Skinner, constructivism learning theory, humanism learning theory, connectivism, transformative social learning theory, and experiential learning theory. We will discuss it one by one as we go along with our subject habang hihimayin po natin yan isa-isa, bawat learning theory na nakakaano din. Okay po? So yan. What are the two limitations of social learning theory? The two limitation, one is the criticized for being reductionist as it only accounts for environmental factors that are involved in learning behavior and neglects other factors that could be involved, for example, the biological factors. Therefore, the social learning theory may not be provided. So also dapat ang social learning theory, it's not only more on the environment, it's not only there must be also the biological factor. Kasi yung kanyang kung saan, 'di ba, most of the time the children or the learner stay with their parents, with their family. So doon mismo they also learn from their parents, from their family. So how is social learning theory used today? Paano ba siya ginagamit sa ngayon? So let's talk about the real world applications. In social learning theory, they can have the number of real world applications. For example, it can be used to help researchers understand how aggression and violence might be transmitted through observational learning. So, papaano daw ngayon ang social learning theory ay pwede daw magamit um, ginagamit ang social learning theory on the in the real world applications. So paano daw magagamit ito? For example, paano magagamit ang social learning sa aggression and violence? So through observation, they also learn. They also learn sa labas. Okay? Yung nakikita nila, for example, bakit ang batang ito namamalo, bakit ang batang ito ay nananakit ng kanyang kapwa, kasi batay sa pag-aaral ng social learning theory, kaya pala ito namamalo, kaya pala ito nanununtok, kasi he or she experienced it also with their friends, with their family also. So, yan ang importansya ng social learning theory. The social learning theory can also be utilized to teach people positive behaviors. So, it's very important also kasi kung anong nakikita nga ng bata, minsan yun ang tama, pero through the guidance of the parents, through the guidance of the teacher and friends, they can correct also behavior. Okay, kaya nga baga sa television, there is what we call parental guidance, strong parental guidance, and general ano din. Kasi, doon mo mismo magaguide yung bata in watching um, shows. So, what is the main goal of the social learning theory? The goal of the social learning theory is to show that individual can learn in multiple ways. People make choices based on the self-reflection, but mainly the environment in which a person finds themselves influences the way they behave and learn. So, yan po. Kasi nga, ito yung palaging ginagawa sa akin ng magulang ko. Ito yung makikita ko. Ito yung mapapanood ko. So, maganda ito. No? So, I will do this. I will continue to do this. I will continue to show this. I will continue um, to, to, to express also like this. Kasi ito yung maganda. Ito yung nababagay para sa kapwa ko. How can Bandura's theory be applied in the classroom? So using the Bandura social learning theory in the classroom can help students reach their potential. Students do not only imitate each other but also the teacher. Diba? Kaya that's why dito po na-apply ang salitang teachers are role models. Ano? Ginagaya po kasi tayo ng mga estudyante. Ginagaya po kasi tayo ng ano. So, we are role model also. So, kung nagsasaway ka sa mga bata and you are also doing bad, so hindi ka nila papaniwalaan kasi ang alam nila, si teacher nga ganito ang ginagawa, no? Ito nga si teacher eh, bakit ako gagawin ko din to kasi ano din to, ginagawa din to ni teacher. So, tama ito. So, yun ang kanyang paniniwala. Because, through observation, he learned from that. Being a good role model open to all the students and holding the students to a level of responsibility will be imitated by the students according to Bandura. So, yan po. Yan ang hindi maganda na ginagaya po tayo ng mga bata na kasi yun ang ano nila, nakikita nila sa atin. So what is social learning in the classroom? Social learning is based on the behavior modeling theory where people learn new things by observing others. The first step of this learning through observation in the modeling process is that you have to pay attention, otherwise you are not observing anything. Okay. So yun po ang ating lesson on social learning theory. So yan po, wherein it's very important also in the classroom. What's the implication of this in our classroom? The implication of this in our classroom is through this, alam natin na there are also limitations in doing so, no? So hindi palaging ito din yung ginagawa ni teacher kasi kaya ganito din kami. So, mali. You are teaching them na maging kaya po ang social learning theory, the implication of this in our classroom is we will do our best to model to them na which is good for them. Okay po? So after this discussion, we will have a short quiz. I am going to forward the link in our GC. Okay po? So baka po may tanong kayo. Sige. I am going to entertain questions. Baka may mga tanong kayo. Pwede nyo pwede kayo mag-comment for your questions before we end this one and before I'm going to forward the link. Mm. Wala na? Okay. So if you don't have any questions, on Wednesday, this is an announcement. On Wednesday, you are going to submit your preliminary examination and your quiz if you did not submit it already. Pero yung mga nakasubmit na, punta pa rin po sa school para po kunin yung ating if you cannot comment naman, I'm going to let you to answer on our GCA and our exam also. Okay lang yun kung hindi kayo makakomment kasi baka depende din po ata sa YT kung din. Okay po? Sige. So thank you very much and good evening.